sit down. That was horrible. All right, hello, absent Algebra 1 students. This is our Unit 4 of Cram Kit, and we can use this on our test. So if you're at home, go ahead and write this on a separate piece of paper and kind of follow along. You can pause the video if you need to, but we're going to roll along live with Third Hour. Say hi, Third Hour.
Hi!
All right. Third Hour, super stoked.
We don't miss you.
Okay.
Just kidding. Oh, just kidding.
Katana totally misses you, whoever
I'm
you are. She doesn't even know.
I miss Chantal and that's it.
Okay, just Shantala.
Probably the only one.
Alright, we're going to start with level 1, guys. So, for slope, the variable we use for slope, we also call that m in our y equals mx plus b. So here we go. We're beginning. We also refer to slope as a rise over run. Okay? And that's kind of good for graphs, more or less, but sometimes we're not given a graph. Sometimes we're given 2 points. We might be given x1, y1, and x2, y2. In that case, we'd want to use our slope formula. And so our slope formula is just going to be m equals, we have it on the board, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. We also have some special cases. So if I have a vertical line, what slope is that? Third hour? What kind of slope is that?
Wait.
It's undefined, yes. So for a vertical line, the slope is undefined, so you can put UND. For a horizontal line, what's that slope? That one is 0, okay? It totally is, okay? So if we look at example 1, we can find the slope of the line. For this one, I would use rise over run because this is graphically the best way to do it, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're essentially going to pick one of these points to start at, and then see how much we're rising, see how much we're running, and that'll give us our slope. So, starting from this point, what's our rise? 0. How much are we rising by? 1, 2, and how much am I running by? 2. 2. So it's 2 over 2. Yep. So if m equals 2 over 2, Katana, you're right, that reduces down to just 1. There we go, there's our slope. And that's all there is to it when you're finding the slope of a line that's actually given to you, okay? Let's go ahead and flip the page.
Wait.
What's up? Yeah. Okay. Example 2, okay? This is if we're not actually given a graph. This time we're given 2 points. This is calculating the slope. So we're going to be using our slope formula, our m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And it might be helpful to actually label those points. So I'll label this first one x1, y1, this one x2, y2. And from there on, it's plugging and chugging. Okay. So on the top, we're going to have y2 minus y1, so that's 7 minus 2. On the bottom, we're going to have x2 minus x1, that's negative 3 minus 4. And so after subtraction, we end up getting 5 over negative 7. And if I have 5 over negative 7, is the whole fraction positive or negative? Whole fraction is negative, so I can write this as m equals negative 5/7, just like that. Excellent. That's all there is to it. Okay. So level 2, now we're getting into actually the linear equations. We're getting into y equals mx plus b, and well, that is exactly what a linear equation is. Y equals mx plus b. And so our m, that guy once again represents our slope. What does the b represent? The y-intercept, absolutely. Okay, and if you need kind of an example of like what a y-intercept is, off to the side, I'll kind of write it real quick. If I have a line, it's going to be this little point that crosses the y-axis. Okay, this will be your 0, comma b. That'll be your y-intercept. Okay. So for an example, what is the equation of this line? We need our y equals mx plus b, so we need the m, we need the b. Let's start with the m. What would my rise over run be if I start at this bottom point? 2 over 3, absolutely. And then what's my b going to be? It is going to be negative 2, yes. This point is 0, negative 2, thus negative 2 is the b. So putting it all together, my equation is y equals 2/3 x minus 2. And that guy's done. That's a spirit, Katana. All right. Go ahead and flip your page. Katana's getting hyped over math. You heard it here first, folks. Okay? I'm going to hold that against you. It's going to be held against you your whole life. Yeah, we're paid actors. This isn't true. Okay. Now, graphing given the linear equation, you can do it in 3 quick steps. So you need your starting point when you actually graph this. And your starting point is going to actually be this B right here. So what you could do first is plot your B first. Okay? Once you've plotted your B, then you're going to use your rise over run. You're going to use your slope to get the next point. I'm going to do rise over run. Use rise over run to get next point. And then finally, once we have point 1 and point 2, we're going to put a line through those and connect those guys up. So number 3 is going to be sketch a line through the points. And I give us 2 examples because, well, there's kind of some nuances with them, and we kind of want to go over those. So let's start with this one on the left. If we're graphing this guy, I need to plot my B first. Since it's a +1, my first point is going to end up going up here, right there. Okay. Now, if I want to find the second point, I need to use rise or run to get to the next point. Well, what is my slope in this case? -2/3. So my rise is -2, and my run is a +3. So I could actually, to get to my next point, I can go down 2 units, and then I can go to the right 3 units. And that's good. And I could sketch a line through there. But I can also go the other way. Remember, if it's a negative fraction overall, I can kind of decide how I want to do my negative. So even though this is -2/3, that is the same thing as a +2/3. Because overall the fractions are still negative. So if I wanted, I could go the other way. I could. So I wrote this one in red. I'm going to write this one in green. I could go up 2, 1, 2, and then to the left -3 because it's -1, 2, 3. Either way, I'm going to get my line, and it's going to look pretty darn good. I think it looks perfect. It's the best you're going to get, so trust me. Okay. The one on the Wait, what's up, Ethan?
How did you get that first dot that you plotted? No, not the one for the
The -2/3? Like this one?
Yeah, how'd you get that one?
So starting from my B, I went, my rise is -2, so I went down 2, and then my right run was 3, so I went 1, 2, 3. Okay. Also, if your run is negative, you go to the left, and I think we should write that down probably like right up here. So negative run means to the left. And I think that's the only thing that really confuses kids. If I have negative rise, we know to go down. That kind of is intuitive. All right. Let's see this second example right here. So y equals -x. First of all, what is my starting point? No, that's my slope. Yeah. We don't have one? If I don't have anything, where's my starting point going to be? It's going to be a 0. Yeah, so if there's nothing written there, it's kind of +0, meaning you can just start in the middle. Okay? And we said, or I just said, that the slope is -1. How did I know that? Well, there's a -1 out in front here. So I can represent that as a rise over run. I can put that as -1/1 as 1/-1 if you want to do it that way. But we already saw that with this last example, so we're just going to go down 1 and over to the right 1. And there we go. We can sketch a line through there. I know, we're doing math. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Okay. I'm going to cut that from the video. Level 4, linear equations, given slope and point. So to create y equals mx plus b, we need the slope, and we need the y-intercept. We need the b. So let's see what that looks like. Let's turn our page. We've kind of already been doing it.
Yeah. Whoa! I am so surprised. This is the coolest thing I've ever done. This is my character right here.
Write the linear equation, given a slope of 2 and a point negative 1, 3. So, as I said, if we're getting y equals mx plus b and figuring out what that is, we need the m, we need the b, and in this case, we're given the m right off the bat. M equals 2. And we're given an xy point. So for step 1, write y equals mx plus b with m given. That's just y equals 2x plus b. Well, now we got to find what b is. So step 2 is actually substituting the x and y point and plugging that in for the x and y values right here to solve for b. So this x is y will go in for x and y here. So let's do that. This will be 3 equals 2 times negative 1 plus b. And there we go. So for step 3, it's actually solve for it by getting it by itself. And so if we do 3 equals negative 2 plus b, I can solve for b by doing the opposite operation to both sides of the equal sign to get rid of this negative 2. And that is a plus 2 to both sides. So I get 5 equals b. Thus, my overall equation is y equals 2x plus 5. Oh, thank you, Echoes.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it.
That's what I get paid to do. Hey, where's my...
So how much are we getting?
You didn't get
You guys are getting like,
Why? Because you're not getting
you guys are getting a bunch of crisp high fives for your payment. So I hope you're ready. They're really good high fives. They're world class high fives. I will crow hop into the high five for you. I'm coming in, dude. Not lying. I'm not even Snoop lying. All right, I will stop with stupid jokes. Level 5 is linear equations, this time given 2 points. So we need the m, the b. Up here for level 4, we were given the m. That's nice of them. This time, we're not given the m. That sucks. But it's not a big deal because we have this handy-dandy formula to calculate m. So once you calculate m, it's really the same process as level 4. And a quick note, if a point is 0, y, b is simply that y value, so you can kind of write that as 0, comma b. And that's nice. This can actually save you a lot of time in calculating b. We don't even have to go through this part if we have a point that is 0, comma whatever. So let's see if we see that on the next page. Turn the page, kids.
Yes, with a big smile on your face because you love doing math. Wasn't that good, Mr. Knight? Do I get a raise?
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I think they're getting convinced. This is fun. So example, write the linear equation given the points it crosses. We have 2 points. Let's call this one x1, y1, this one x2, y2. And the first thing we should do is actually calculate that slope. So we're going to be using that slope formula, the m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
I know what B is.
And Katana already knows what b is. What is b, Katana?
One.
It's 1.
Oh my God.
You're correct. We'll verify that. So we're going to do y2 minus y1. We're going to do y minus 4 up top. We're going to do 0 minus a negative 3 on the bottom. A minus minus makes a... Thank you, Lauren.
Woohoo!
And so we end up getting, on top, negative 3 over 3. And that equals negative 1.
Feels good when the mentally challenged can do something. Wait, why does it plus?
That's why I'm always proud of you, Katana, every day you come in. Okay?
That's why I'm proud of myself too.
All right, so our equation so far is y equals negative 1x plus b. Katana said our b is 1, and she is correct.
I know.
She knows that because 0, 1 on the graph, well, that guy would cross somewhere up here. We had our line. And yeah, that would be 0, comma b, or 0, 1 is the guy we're really looking for, okay? So your equation will actually end up just being y equals negative 1x plus 1. But we can also go through it and we can actually verify that. So it doesn't matter what you plug in for x and y.
I don't get it. On the last page, he said, I don't get the last page.
It doesn't matter what you plug in for x and y. If you are not comfortable with this yet, you can also rely on plugging in an x and y point to solve for b. So if we do that, kind of make it easier on yourself. Do the 0, 1. Anytime there's a 0, it makes it way easier. So you end up doing 1 equals negative 1 times 0 plus b. So we just replace the x and y. And so 1 equals, this just goes to 0. So we're left with b on this side. So just 1 equals b. And that'll give us back to this equation right there. Okay. So either way, it works out. And we're good to go.
We're so proud of you, Mr. Knight. You did something right for once.
Thank you.
Ouch.
Happens every now and then.
Stop being so skilled.
And finally, that leaves us with level 6, which is standard form. Standard form, I don't really care about what you do with standard form, other than the fact can you turn it back into y equals mx plus b form. And so you're given this ax plus by equals c. And so turning your standard form into this, 2 steps. First, subtract your ax term from both sides, and then divide everything by the number in front of y. So if we do this guy right here, 3x minus 5y equals 20, first thing we got to do is subtract 3x from both sides of the equal sign. I got to get it to be y equals mx plus b, so I need the y by itself. So I'm left with negative 5y, and I want it to be in y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to write the x term first. We're allowed to do this. We could write it as 20 minus 3x, but either way, we want it to look like y equals mx plus b, so we write it like that. The second thing, divide everything by the number in front of y, so divide everything, and I do mean everything, by negative 5. We're going to be left with y equals, well, we have this fraction, and then we have this x. What you can do is, you can just plop your x next to it, and just treat this like a fraction if it doesn't divide evenly. We can simplify it a little bit. A negative over a negative is a positive, and it'll just be a positive 3/5. So you can write it like that. And then we have 20 divided by negative 5. That does give us a negative 4. Okay, so minus 4. And there we go. This guy is went from standard form to slope-intercept form. All right, Katana's super hyped. Okay, she
I
gets
get paid
hyped.
extra. No.
All right. So that was our notes for today. That was our Cram kit, and you can use it on your test on Wednesday when you guys come back. All right, third hour, say bye.
Bye. We're so excited to be here without you.
Katana's mean. It's okay.